In this example, we're going to look at how we would get the meridional passage of a star. It's a little more complicated. Let's look at the normal procedure if you had the time. So you'd look up the GHA of Aries, get the increments with your GMT time, apply plus the SHA, and then apply the longitude east or west to get the LHA. Here we're going to have the LHA, apply the longitude, and notice we're going to have to minus the SHA. So in this example we're actually going to be working backwards, so it's a bit more complicated. So here's the example. We've got the star Altair on the 12th of April and we're given the latitude and the longitude. So let's start with the LHA. Because the longitude is west, then the GHA of the star will be 148 degrees. So in other words, we've come this way and we've got the GHA of the star. Now we're going to have to apply the SHA to get the GHA of Aries. So here's the GHA of the star, 148. We know that GHA of the star equals GHA of Aries plus SHA of the star. Therefore, if we want GHA of Aries, it's going to be GHA minus SHA of the star. So we go into the tables and we see that the SHA sidereal angle, hour angle of Altair on that day is 62 degrees 34.8. Therefore, we subtract it from the GHA of the star that we started with, we'll get the GHA of Aries. Now that we've got that, we can use the daily pages to determine the GMT. So if you examine Aries GHA column for the 12th of April, you'll see at 1600 hours GHA is 80 degrees 44.3, at 1700 hours 95.46.8. So we need the time between those two. So we're going to use the 1600 hours and get the difference between those two. So there's 1600, required 85.25.2, and it leaves us with 4 degrees 40.9 for the increments. So we go into the increments for Aries and look up the nearest value there, and we see that it's 18 minutes 40 seconds. So we get that value, so it's going to be 16 hours 18 minutes 40 seconds, and the 18 minutes 40 is using the increments in the back of the book. So the GMT of Merpass of the star will be 12th day 16, 18, 40. Apply the longitude in time and that gives you the LNT Merpass of the star. So the Altair will be observed on the meridian at 6:26:40 LNT on the 12th of April, and the GMT of course is written there. And I've just put here a note that the time equivalent of longitude is applied in the usual way. Obviously longitude west, Greenwich is best, longitude east, Greenwich is least. So that's how we would solve that. If you're unsure, just write down the traditional way you would get the LHA if you had actually had your time. So you'd get the GHA of Aries increments, that would give you the GHA of Aries, apply the SHA, and that would give you GHA of the star, apply the longitude, and that would give you the LHA. So you could write that perhaps down at the side of your answer script, and then you can figure out working backwards from that value.